Cancers. Before we jump into your reading, I hope these messages find everyone in good health and good wealth and good spirits. I was meditating slightly on your energy before I turned on the camera. I just lost my water. Maybe you're misplacing a lot of things, Cancer. Maybe. Yeah, I'm probably trying to work on that. That's good. So yeah, meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera. There is some focus here, or should be some focus rather. There's a message here for you to be aware of the focus on passions. It's almost wanting to come through like, make sure that you're understanding the difference between lust and passion. Okay. Also, be careful of the time that you're spending alone. There's nothing wrong with spending time alone, but it can kind of create an issue if you're not spending it wisely. So we don't want to fall into deep states of depression. We also don't want to be spending our alone time sort of in these thought loops, is how I'm hearing it, these sort of negative thought loops. Because that can really turn into a form of a pity party or just destructive behavior overall. Because a lot of times what can happen whenever you're in those just vicious cycles of negative thought loops, when you finally do get a moment to break free, you kind of have this F it mentality and you kind of just go a little bit overboard sometimes. I'm not saying it does happen, and obviously this is a general message, but it can happen. Okay, so we want to be aware of that. And then there's also something about turning cold or being cold. Cancer, you need to make sure that you're not just being cold-hearted to things or people in your life. It's more about like facing your fears and your hurt head on and sort of exploring what's causing that, versus again that F it mentality and turning a cold heart to maybe things that really do bother you, even though you may say they don't, or you may want to portray that they don't. Yeah, so I would say some of that alone time that you're spending, Cancer, needs to be spent, or should be spent, exploring why you're having some of the feelings that you're having. Okay, you may be in a period that you're really getting to know yourself again, Cancer. Again, I'm urging, and I'm being urged to urge you, however you want to say that, to be careful with confusing lust for passion, or almost like selfishness and I don't know, maybe like the wrong kind of attention or the wrong kind of, I don't know, it's almost want to come through as like a form of perversion versus actual passions. Okay. I think that's all that I kind of had before I got on camera. Okay, so we're going to pull from 3 decks. You can fast forward this part if you don't like to see the shuffle. Some people do, some people don't. Some people don't care either way. I'm going to see what this was. 5 of Cups. Okay, so it wanted to come out. You saw it wanted to come out and then it didn't. That was happening a lot with Pisces. It's only happened once with you. Just this is the first time. So there may be some things you're not ready to face or not ready to go all the way through when it comes to losses, grieving, and mourning. Okay, and something like that came through in the channeled message this morning. If you caught that, there was this message of like sort of going through the motions and portraying to everyone else that you were in a spot that you weren't really in, sort of this fake it till you make it mentality, which in turn became toxic. So if that resonates with you, be sure to go back and check out that reading. I think I just posted it like 4 hours ago or something like that. One more deck here. I really do not know what I did with my water, y'all. Nice. Okay. You saw it flip and then go back in. We're going to pull it, but yeah, okay. The communication is wonky, okay? I don't feel like you're shut down like people would normally view being shut down, okay? I felt this, like I said, before I turned on the camera. There is communication. There is this like happy-go-lucky, free-to-be-me sort of energy that's being portrayed to everyone else, but it's almost not real. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and there is this wonky communication. It's like the actions and the words don't match the heart and the mind. So take that for what you will. If it resonates, cool. If it doesn't, cool. You know, obviously these are general messages and they're not going to resonate with everybody. So the main focus, what's going on here, is trying to restore harmony and where am I at? What am I doing? What is my path? Where do I want to be? Where do I need to be? All right. The challenge here is balance. Okay. So like I said, I feel like you're trying to find yourself again, trying to find what you are, who you are, what you're supposed to be doing. I'm seeing a lot of back and forth within the self. Again, the mind, the heart, the actions, and the words don't really match. So maybe either think a little bit more on what you want to say before you say it, or maybe don't say anything until you know for sure that's what you want to be out there, okay? Spirit is telling you to be a little bit more sensitive. So like I said at the beginning of the reading, I was seeing a little bit of cold-hearted behavior. And it really just stems from, you know, trauma, anger, rage, hurt, pain, fear. And I think that's something that we all experience. So no judgment, obviously never in these readings, but Spirit is asking you to have a greater level of understanding and sensitivity as it relates to your own feelings and as it relates to the ones around you, okay? And if you're not able, here's the thing, if you're not really able to understand how you're feeling and why you're feeling, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to understand the feelings of others, right? I would say, I think that's pretty fair. So let's start there. Let's start with ourselves. And I think it looks to me like that's what you're doing. There is a challenge of restoring balance in your life right now. By the way, this is for the second part of March. Sorry if I didn't say that. But it looks like you're figuring out. It does look like you're kind of going forward in that, at least entertaining the thought at the very least. And for others of you, you're smack dab in the middle of it. Okay. So over here, we've got the confrontation and conflict. There may be some things that you're avoiding, okay? You need to say what you need to say, but you need to say it in a way that's not destructive and mean, even if you need to say these things to yourself. This is not necessarily a conversation with someone else. This could be definitely a conversation with yourself. Okay, if there are things going on with your health, you need to confront those, okay? Because you do have a new beginning here waiting for you, and I think you want it. I think you want it really bad. There is a challenge here of starting over and beginning this new chapter, but there's going to need to be some confrontation, confronting of something, which I think leaves you feeling conflicted, and also you don't, I just don't think you're here for any conflict, even the conflict that's necessary. So it's kind of leaving you in this defense mode. Spirit is advising you to heal. You must heal. Okay? You must heal. And you need to have your guard up in a healthy sense, but you don't need to be defensive about every little thing. Cancer, there's a lot I feel like people want to say to you that they can't say to you. They can't say it to you because you will fly up in the defense mode and probably become really cold. And so they just don't say it at all. And there's two things going on here. It looks to me like it's pushing people away. And whether you know it or not, it leaves you feeling like nobody really cares. But they really do care. They're just scared to offend you. Like, it looks to me like they do not want to invoke this energy in you whenever you become extremely defensive because you feel offended, and kind of just X them out of your life. So it's really hindering the ones in your life from showing how much they care, and it's hindering you to be shown. And right now, Cancer, I'm going to be very honest with you. I feel like you need to be shown. I feel like you need to feel for real, that people are there for you, because I don't feel as though you feel like you have support. And I can't find my little water, so I'm going to have to get it out of this big jug. Excuse me for a second. So sorry about that. I know drinking noises bother people, especially when it's glug, 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 glug like that. It is what it is. But yeah, I feel like you need to feel like you matter to the people that matter most to you. And whether you know it or not, whether you mean to or not, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, you are in a very real way, Cancer, blocking that. Yeah, okay, we're going to move on. In your relationship, there's been a lot of challenges with your relationships with, both romantic, friendship, family, and there's the responsibilities of what that brings on you is been a huge challenge. Your focus is conquering your challenges, and it just feels very overwhelming to you. And that may be why you're kind of in effort mode and kind of just throwing your hands up and becoming a little bit cold-hearted. It's not the way to deal with it, because I can see that it's leaving bigger holes than were already there. Okay? Spirit is advising you to look at what you want. You need to care about yourself, and you need to understand what you need and require in life, but also not be very selfish with it, and be very realistic about how to go about that. Okay? That's been coming through for a lot of people in a lot of different channels and a lot of different reads, both personal and public. Yeah, so Spirit is advising you, though, to not really lower your standards, but become what you are looking for. I hope that makes sense. In work, it looks like you don't want to be there anymore. I'm just letting you know, it looks like you want to start something new, for sure, but the challenge is, how do I get from point A to point B? Okay, the world is in a very chaotic state right now, with inflation through the roof, gas prices through the roof, housing crises going on everywhere. It's absolutely absurd. And even though you're ready for something new, you're ready to go to work in a new place. Maybe even some of you are wanting to go back to school. Some of you possibly are already in school and maybe even almost at the end of obtaining that degree or that certificate or whatever. And now you're finding, you know what, it's not really what I want to do. And the challenge is, how do I get from here to there? I know I want to change. I know I want it. I know it's time. How do I do it? Spirit is telling you that you're definitely on the right path. You are going to just have to leap. You're gonna have to close one chapter and go to the next. That's how you get it done. There's no mystical answer. There's no blueprint. It's just, you're gonna have to do it. If that is what you're needing at this time, you will have to do it. However, you will have to close one door before you open another. Okay. Even if you're looking for jobs while you still have a job, there's no real easy way to transition, especially right now. You may have to take a pay cut. You may have to rearrange some things, but it is what it is. Overall, Spirit is asking you to look at what truly, I'm sorry for the background noise, look at what truly makes you happy. Look at what truly gives you life again, because I mean, realistically, you spend 8 to 16 hours a day at work, right? Most people, 8 to 16 hours a day at work. It needs to be something that you can feel good about. It needs to be something that on some level, and not to say work is going to stress you out on every level, no matter what you do. If you're doing it for money and it's putting food on the table, there's going to be levels of stress that come with it. I don't care if you own your own business or you have the coolest boss in the world and you absolutely love what you do. It's always going to create stress. Spirit is asking you, is the stress worth it? Because it's going to create stress and you're there for basically half your day, if not more, because if you're there for 8 to 16 hours and there's only 24 hours in a day and you have to get sleep at some point and run errands and do whatever everyday life stuff, Spirit's saying, is it worth it? Is the stress worth it for you to continue on in this place? And that's what you need to be looking for whenever you're looking for the next place, if that is what you decide to do, or restart in this place. Some of you want to stay where you are, but switch directions. So maybe you want to stay in the company, but not in the same department. Or maybe you want to stay in the same field, but not with the same company. Okay? Now, in the financial situation, there does seem to be a hang up or a hold up on something that you thought was going to come through. It feels like it was a shoo-in. You felt it like it was a guaranteed thing, and it ended up not being guaranteed at all. There's a hang up. There's no action being taken in that space. Okay. There's something you've hit a block. You've hit a wall here, in your financial space. And there is another way around it, I will say, but you need to look at it realistically, budget more properly, possibly kind of, not spend so much until you can figure out what's blocking that. Let me see here. Yeah. You need financial security, and that just something fell through. I don't know what it is, but something fell through. And goodness gracious. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like there was or is a lot of spending because there was supposed to be more money there. And it's like writing a check on Thursday because you know the money's not in there, but you're getting paid on Friday. So what does it really matter? By the time the check hits, you're already going to have the money in there for 2 days at least, right? But then you don't get paid on Friday. Something happens. It's a holiday. Things get held up. The bank red flags your account for security purposes or whatever the case may be. And paperwork doesn't get signed, or, something was off on the check, and the money's not in there. And then you did write the check, and now you're in the negative, and it's just kind of thrown everything out of balance. That's what this looks like to me. You're just going to have to be a little bit more strict so that you can come out of this, okay? Because your spiritual advice is being very logical with your next steps, okay? Writing it down, making it make sense, doing math, things like that. And also being ambitious about what this is, like stay positive because there's other ways, okay? Most people have another way they can make money, okay? Freaking recycling, scrapping, working on cars on the side, doing decorating on the side, doing birthday cakes on the side, face painting. I don't know what it would be. Cleaning up somebody's property. Yeah. Okay. There is something you can do on the side. There is some form of side work. I'm not saying it's going to be big money, but it could be the difference of eating or not eating. Okay. Now, for others of you, this is a very real warning to get very strict with the spending now before you run yourself into a problem, because it is going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem. And it can take you from being independent to not only having to rely on others, be it personal loans, second mortgages, things of that nature, but also possibly losing a lot more than just your next meal. Okay? So that is what I have for you, Cancer. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time.